Alright, so just finished up a turbo swap on the BMW. We're going to give some more drive time on these turbos so we can actually see how they perform. So today we're actually going to be changing the oil on my 2017 Ninja 1000. And we are going to be using Mobil 1 Racing 4T oil, 4 quarts of that, and then K&N 303 filter. So I will show you the process of changing your oil on a Ninja 1000, and it will be similar to other bikes. They might just change some of the torque specs or the amount of oil or the type of oil you should use, but they should be similar. So follow along, see how to get this job done. First step that we took was starting the engine up and letting everything warm up. That way it makes it a little bit easier for the oil to drain out of the motor. Next step, you can loosen up the oil drain pan bolt. That is a 17 millimeter. We can actually remove it all the way since I have the oil pan already under the motor. To help that drain, we will open up the fill plug. Alright, now that the oil is almost done draining, we can reach inside here and remove the oil filter. With the K&N filter, it's also going to be a 17 millimeter socket that you use to put on top of it. Whenever you remove an oil filter, you want to make sure to check that the actual oil filter O-ring is on the oil filter and not on the actual engine. Because if it gets stuck and stays on the engine and then you go put the new one on, you will have an oil leak. Next steps, we can take our new oil filter, open it up, take off the little plastic cover. Then I take a little bit of the new oil, pour a little bit in the cap, then I use that to lube up the new oil filter. Make sure that O-ring is lubed up, and then I also lube up the threads. And now we can place the oil filter on the motor, making sure there is no O-ring on the actual motor. Make sure it threads on there nice and straight. You will tighten this to 13 foot-pounds, or you can, if you have a good amount of experience, you can kind of feel by hand, but 13 foot-pounds is the torque spec for this. Next step, you will want to change your crush washer on your oil pan bolt. I bought some from Amazon and they ended up being too small. So I'm just going to be reusing mine. It's still in good condition. And we can reinstall the oil pan bolt. This will get torqued down to 21 foot-pounds. At this time I take a little rag, wipe the bottom of the motor. Make sure there's no oil dripping, especially from the oil filter area. Never fun to get your oil on your tires. Alright, next step, we're going to fill the engine back up with oil. Alright, now that the oil change is complete, next steps are to start it up. Make sure you don't need to burp the actual filter. If this light doesn't go off when you start the engine, that might mean that there's an actual low oil pressure, because there could be air in the actual oil filter. So then what you'd have to do is unscrew the oil filter a little bit, and that should help burp, or it should burp the actual air out of it. I've never had that issue yet, but let's give it a try and see if we can avoid it again. The last step you can do is put the bike level, and you can check this little eyeglass. Make sure that the oil level is where it needs to be when the bike is sitting straight up. Just like that, got our oil change at home on our own. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.